flyweight contest. Our timekeeper at the bell for this one, Mr. Anthony Rushton. And upon the side of the bell, the referee once again is Mr. John Latham. Introducing first, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the black shorts with white trim. She tipped the scales, 7 stone 13 pounds and 8 ounces. Her professional journey so far perfect, 1-0 from Aika, Hungary, SARA ORSZAGI. And across the ring in the red corner, she wears the green and gold with white trim. She tipped the scales 8 stone 2 pounds 6 ounces. Her professional journey also so far is perfect. 5 contests, 5 wins, 1 KO. From the market town of Guildford, Surrey, Laura Payne.
Well, here we go, Ricky. 6 2-minute rounds in the women's flyweight division, and Laura Payne is transfixed on her opponent from the moment she walked in. She means business.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, she could have been a footballer, but because of her hips, she felt the need to. But I could have been a bit of a footballer myself. I was on City's books where she was on Chelsea's, and I struggled with my Achilles tendons, so I favoured the boxing, and it didn't do bad for me, so hopefully it'll do good for Laura.
Yeah, it's funny how you tend to get people who are in sports who are good at a couple of different sports, and that is exactly what we've got here with Laura Payne from Guildford, who is, like I said, a talented fighter, as she just moves around the ring, just popping that jab out, measuring her opponent up with a good stab to the body with her left hand there. And ORSZAGI come back with a 1-2 in the corner. We're very excited about it.
Yeah, you've got to be careful, with the journeymen or the journey ladies, as we've got here. They're not going to throw 4 and 5 punch combinations, are they? They're going to throw some big swings, try and get lucky. So Laura's got to keep it nice and tight, make sure that she's not there and a sitting duck for one, isn't it?
Absolutely. She was a former Team GB member, but she had to withdraw from the GB squad due to a broken wrist, and she's had quite a bit of bad luck with injuries.
You can tell the girls that have come through the GB squad, they tend to stand out that little bit more. The fundamentals are all there. The good left jab, the good footwork. The judgment of range. I think it's a massive difference when you come through the GB thing, and it's so noticeable for me, to be honest. And that's being noticeable here now. She's got caught with a couple of rights over the top, but easing into it nice well, I think, for the first round.
Absolutely. Payne doing all the right things. She's constantly doing something. If she's not throwing punches, she's changing the angle, she's moving her feet, she's moving her head, she's keeping the brain of her opponent very busy, keeping it ticking. As the two of them come to the centre of the ring, and the referee is almost always happy for the fighters to come together, but as long as there's a bit of action. But impressed with Laura Payne in the first round there, Ricky?
I was, yeah, to be honest. She was working the jab well. What I'd do, I'd work the jab upstairs, I'd work the jab downstairs a little bit more, them little stabs to the belly, if she's using the jab, but if it's only going to the head, that's probably why she got caught with a couple of right hands over the top. Just a little bit of variation with the left hand, feint up, go down, feint down, go up, jab to the head, jab to the body, jab to the body, jab to the head, just mix it up a little bit, and she's less likely to get caught with that swinging right over the top, isn't she?
Is it sometimes quite difficult to get carried away at this point in your career, where you can become a bit complacent when you're fighting these journeymen or journeywomen, and you do get caught with stuff just because the adrenaline takes over?
Absolutely, you know what I mean? And sometimes, she mentioned she was in a hurry to be in big fights, which I wouldn't be too keen. I mean, she's well capable to be in big fights, but these are all learning fights. We've all been at this stage. You just got to go through them.
Straight on the front foot here from Laura Payne, who caught ORSZAGI with a shot there, and I just saw the Hungarian wince a little bit, so that one must have got through quite nicely. But she's got an aggressive style, she's got a come forward style, but like Ricky just said, she's got to be careful not to get caught with those shots, because there was another one of those
Well, you
which
know,
just got through.
she's had a look in the first round. She's boxed from a distance, and that now she feels like she's eased into the fight a little bit. Now she's trying to sit a little bit closer to the opponent, and when you are on the opponent's chest, you're less likely to get caught with them big swings, aren't you? So I mean, she's this is what it is about. It's all about learning. She's tried a little bit from a distance. Now she's trying and having a little bit of a go up close. That's what it's all about. These are what they are, learning fights. Lovely right hand there.
Absolutely, that was a great right hand. There was one of them which just fell short, and that second one most certainly landed from Payne.
Just landed a good shot. Just doesn't want to get too giddy. You know what I mean? Still set it up.
But SARA ORSZAGI is coming back and having a go herself, which is what we always like to see from these away fighters. And Laura herself said in an interview on the build-up to this fight that she doesn't want easy fights. Why would I do an 8-week training camp, she said, and want an easy fight? What would be the point in that?
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, there's not as many ladies in the flyweight division. You know, so you are more likely to get there quicker than you would do in, you know, other weight divisions, isn't there? You know, because obviously the little ladies only the flyweight division. There's not as many of them in this weight division, so the tough fights will come sooner rather than later, I think, to be honest. You just got to be nice and patient and enjoy these learning ones.
Absolutely, and that was another right hand which just missed the head of ORSZAGI and landed on the body. But I think Laura Payne will have a promising career. She had like I said, a good amateur career. She lost out in the boxer in the Winter Box Cup to Shannon Ryan, who boxing fans who will be familiar with, and it was a very, very close split decision. So that might be a rivalry which we see going down the line there. But Ricky, as a former boxer and as a trainer, what would you be saying to Laura Payne there in the corner?
You know, it's very hard. You know what I mean, when you're fighting these journey ladies. They're looking to survive and they're not coming to win. But I mean, she has got an opponent this evening that, surprisingly for a journey woman, she's coming and having a little bit of a go. So just not too giddy. I mean, she's landed a couple of solid good shots where she's troubled her opponent, and she just got a little bit carried away. She just needs to settle down. When you land the big one, still get behind the jab and set the next attack up, and that's learning that we've all had to do over the years, you know.
All of this is good learning for these fighters making their way through the professional ranks, through the paid ranks. It is not an easy game at all. It's a...
See, there's a stab. She took a right hand over the top though in doing it, but yeah, she's trying to vary it.
Good shots incoming from Payne, but she did get caught there on her way in, and they're the kind of shots that she has got to be careful of. But a boxer like her, who is being round the block when it comes to the boxing business because of the amateur days, she will have that experience of these kind of moments.
Yeah, I think maybe just, you know, instead of being the one to get your punches off first all the time, you know, it's one of the most often saying in, you know, be first. Sometimes it makes sense to be second, you know, just put a little feint in, let her make the first mistake and then put your counter in, you know. But she's on the front foot, she's always doing the leading here, and she's been very successful, doing good with it. But I mean, these are just little things that you learn as you go along, you know what I mean? It's, as I keep repeating myself, it's all learning, you know.
It is, and it's not always just about what you do in the boxing ring, is it? It's the way that you.
And don't forget, you learn by, you know, by making mistakes. You don't learn by everything you do right. You know what I mean? It's, you know, you've got to make mistakes before you put them right. You know, so this is a really good fight for her.
Laura Payne is a fighter who is extremely dedicated outside of the boxing ring, with her diet, with her training, with absolutely everything.
Yeah, it looks solid as a rock, doesn't she?
She's in great shape, and for anyone who follows her journey on her social media, all the training she does, everything she does, she really does want to make it all the way to the top. And with that attitude, there's a good chance that she will go a long way. And like you said, Ricky, in the women's division, there isn't the depth that there is in the men's division, but it's coming, it's growing. Look how many great fighters are coming through now from the women's side of the sport.
Well, women's boxing is incredible, to be honest, from where it's come from back in the day when my friend Jane Couch went up against the Border Control to try and make it so the ladies could fulfil their dreams and box professionally, it's come on such a long way. The standard is absolutely massive, you know, but it's the same in the men's division. You know, there's not too many in the flyweight division, and it's a smaller weight division, and it's certainly the same in the ladies, so you're more likely to get there quicker, you know, in your weight division. So I know that Laura's dead keen to get moving and being in good fights, but being in the flyweight division, those fights will come probably sooner rather than later, as I said earlier, you know, so don't meet in too much of a rush, because it won't be long before she gets there, I think.
Round 4.
Yeah, plenty of very talented fighters for her to be matched with, and she comes out extremely aggressive in the start of this 4th round. And these rounds do fly by, these 2-minute rounds. I know a lot of the fighters from the female side of the sport are quite keen for it to be the 3 minutes.
I'd just like her to be throwing that backhand a little bit straighter. You know, when she comes in, she's got caught with a few right hands herself, hasn't she? So she wants to be throwing her own straight rather than round the houses. Because if you throw it round the houses, you're more likely to cop for one down the middle, aren't you? Which is what she's done a couple of times. Get behind that jab upstairs, jab downstairs, and straighten the backhand. And when you land that backhand, then sit down on the body then. So that was a better. She put an uppercut in there, varying it a little bit.
Laura Payne looks like she's just starting to become a little bit more composed now. Like the rounds have gone by. I don't know, maybe that adrenaline's just starting to go away. So
nerves, it's a big thing. She still only had four fights. See, I think if she just straighten that right hand a little bit, you know what I mean. I think she'd be more likely to get it. But when she gets inside, just a little bit of smothering her work when she gets close, isn't she? Just there, she lands the shot there. That's the distance she needs to be at. Just sometimes a little bit when you're putting the pressure on your opponent, just that little bit of half a step back, you know, so you don't smother it.
Good.
Go in a little feint.
Payne certainly getting into her groove, and he's having a bit of a wrestling match at the moment, but when she's at distance and she's just at the right range to throw her shots properly, she's boxing nicely.
Oh, good shot.
That was a good shot from Payne. That was a decent right hook which rocked ORSZAGI. Well, it's
yeah, I'd just like to see her just throwing that right hand a little bit straight down the pipe a little bit, you know. You know, she's got caught with a few right hands over the top, you know what I mean? So, I mean, when she's arcing the shot round the sides, the opponent's getting it down the middle a little bit of success, but she's looking really, really well. It's all learning fights. I think the corner will be very, very happy with them. This is what these fights are all for. I just think a little bit more composure, you know, a little bit of the straight backhand, a little bit of half of a step back before your opponent can smother you, you know. But apart from that, yeah, she's looking really well.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the challenges. It's when you can box so beautifully at range and you get your distance right, and you've got someone who's in your face, it's really difficult to.
Yeah, but when you come from the amateurs, where everything is typically at a distance, you know, sometimes that's the hardest part, the transition to getting when you're allowed to fight up close, which you are in the pros, but you're not in the amateurs, are you really? But two good right hands there.
Two very good right hands there by Laura Payne, but once again, ORSZAGI grabs hold of her and is stopping her from doing the good work which she will be so keen.
Yeah, that's
to
what I
be
mean.
doing.
Just a little hard when they get close. Spot her trying to grab you, and just have that little ease back to make the room to get them little short shots in.
Good distance control there from Payne, who lands a solid right hook to the body under the left elbow of ORSZAGI. And again, that was a good jab, and that knocked her off balance.
I think she definitely touched down. Definitely touched down there, yeah.
7, 8.
And if you noticed, it was straight. It was a straight shot, wasn't it?
It's a shot she needed to find, and she can smell blood now, can Laura Payne, and if she can finish the job, then she most certainly will.
That's it, ease back, make a bit of room.
A good thumping shot to the body from ORSZAGI, which knocked the wind out of Laura Payne ever so slightly there, but nothing which is going to phase her. Does she need to be careful there, Ricky, when she lunges in with that jab?
Yeah, you know, for cuts, the heads, heads are clashing, aren't they? Just, yeah, just a little bit more patient. You know what I mean? It's the easiest thing when you land a good shot to get carried away. I think just a little bit more composure probably needed.
And one of the things which, when you've got fighters who are grabbing hold of you, wrestling you, it's exhausting, isn't it?
It is, yeah,
really
yeah.
Knackered in there, it gives
Yeah.
the adrenaline and the work.
But this is, when you come from the amateurs, that's the grappling side of the professional game is something that you don't do in the amateurs. So these are what these fights are for Salute. That just a little bit of a relaxing close, a little bit of a bend the knees, not pushing and shoving, just easing back out of range when you need to. But yeah, it's all learning, to be honest with you. It's all learning. And the main thing is the pedigree's there, the fundamentals are there, like you'd expect for someone coming through the GB squad. The other stuff will come over time.
Exactly that. What about post-fight then? Because what will a trainer and a fighter look at when you look at a fight like this? Looking for what would they learn from it together?
What they'll learn from it is just a little bit more patience. I mean, when you land a big shot, do you know what I mean? That's you've still got to set it up, because don't forget, sometimes your opponents are even more dangerous when they're hurt. You know what I mean? So obviously, if you land a good shot and you go in there and still don't have that little bit of a cautious approach, you're more likely to land them, to cop for one.
Good jab to the body there by Laura Payne, but ORSZAGI is still coming back fighting. And I've got a lot of admiration for that.
In the clinches there, just a little bend of the knees, just a little bit more of a relaxing close.
Tell you what, on the away fighters circuit, I think you might see a little bit more of ORSZAGI, because she's earned her money tonight.
No, she's coming and having a go, to be honest with you. Normally they just come and shut up shop, don't they? But she's coming and had a little bit of a go. Fantastic learning fight for Laura. I think the corner will be happy what they've seen.
The two wrestle again, and you can see in the eyes of Laura Payne that she is very keen to get away from her and get back to her boxing, a sport which she loves so much. She wants to let those hands go, and
there,
that was a good right hand through the middle there,
yeah.
Straight through the middle of the guard.
Yeah. Just need a few more of that. The jab. See, they got caught with the jab then when she went round the houses with it. A little bit more of a bend of your knees in close. Good shots.
Payne boxing well on the back foot there.
Lovely.
And as you've said all along, those straight shots are the shots.
Last round might have been the best. I know she scored the knockdown in the previous round, but I think as she's got a little bit tired, she's shown a little bit more composure there, so I think that was good.
You see that quite a lot. Sometimes fighters are longer distance fighters, aren't they? They get better with their boxing,
Absolutely.
they get better with their composure and everything as the rounds go by.
Absolutely, and you realise you just got to pace it a little bit more when you're doing the pro game. You've got to do more rounds, you know what I mean? So, you come straight out of the amateur. She's only had like 4 amateur fights, so she's probably still at the giddy stage, which we all were after 4. You've come into a game where sometimes less is more, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, I think the corner will be pretty happy with that performance, and I'm sure they'll watch it back and there'll be plenty of learning from it, and another step in the career of Laura Payne. And in just a moment, our MC Craig Stephen, I'm sure, will announce that she has yet another victory, and she will go to 6-0 here in her professional career in Leeds.
To the flyweight division, isn't it? Domestically, and hopefully with having the GB pedigree behind us, she can go on to bigger and better.
Well, let's get that result from Craig Stephen.
So, ladies and gentlemen, our referee, Mr. Latham, will bring both boxers together. So ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecard. 59-54, the winner. Still undefeated from Guildford, Laura Payne.
Very good. Nice to meet you. Good to see you.
Enjoy the
And
football.
ladies and gentlemen, please, we will see more.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.